What's up, everybody? You are listening to Locked On Now NHL, local experts with the biggest stories on the ice. I'm your host, Daniela Bruce, and thank you for making Locked On Now your first listen every weekday. We've got our Locked On NHL host here to tell you everything you need to know from last night's playoff action. Both road teams won in Thursday's game, with one heartbreaking loss for the President's Trophy winners.
The biggest game.
The Tampa Bay Lightning built up the drama until the last seconds against the Panthers last night before scoring the game-winning goal to go up 2-0 in the series. After Tampa won both games on the road, Locked On Panthers and Locked On Lightning recap the matchup and look ahead to Game 3.
What an incredible finish in Game 2 as the Lightning take a 2-0 lead in this series over the Florida Panthers. The big story of this game is Ross Colton scoring a game-winning goal. Nothing new to him. 4 seconds left in this one to steal Game 2. Great performances all around from Andrei Vasilevskiy, and also a great pass at the end of the game from Nikita Kucherov. A goal coming in the first period from Corey Perry. A great physical game all around from both teams. Almost 90 hits total between the two. The Lightning head back to Amalie Arena Saturday where they could take a 3-0 lead. Make sure to go ahead to follow Locked On Lightning as we talk more about this win and the rest of the series.
Where to even start? The Florida Panthers have dropped both games at home for the second year in a row against the two-time defending Stanley Cup champion, Tampa Bay Lightning. What is up, guys? This is Armando Velez from the Locked On Florida Panthers podcast, and the Florida Panthers lose a heartbreaker in Game 2 by a final score of 2-1. Despite letting another power play goal by the Tampa Bay Lightning as the first goal of the game, the Cats are still unable to convert on the power play. Now they're 0 for 25 for the playoffs, and that has been the reason why the Florida Panthers find themselves down 0-2 in this series. Sure, the Florida Panthers let in a goal in the with less than 4 seconds left when Nikita Kucherov wasn't even a threat behind the net, and two Florida Panthers players draw behind the net, giving Ross Colton an open lane right in front of Sergei Bobrovsky for the game winner. And Bob, he gave the Florida Panthers a chance. And the Cats just couldn't do him any favors. And he's been great all playoffs. And the $10 million man has shown up, but the team in front of him has not. The Panthers are not getting passes in the slot to make Andrei Vasilevskiy uncomfortable. Their power play is still, and there's many things for this Florida Panthers team to solve before Game 3 on Sunday afternoon. So listen to my recap of this 2-1 loss and the Florida Panthers being down 0-2. Make sure to listen to my latest recap on the Locked On Florida Panthers podcast with Nick Fairbanks of PantherParkway.com. Your first listen of the day.
The St. Louis Blues stole a game on the road on Thursday night by beating the Avalanche. Locked On Avalanche looks at how Colorado can get back on track after losing the home ice advantage.
All right, well, you knew this was going to be a series between the Avalanche and the St. Louis Blues, and we have one. It is now tied at 1. The Avs suffer their first loss of these playoffs after 5 in a row, and it was their worst game of the postseason by far. But they were still in it to an extent at the end. But St. Louis they made the adjustments, and they played a much better game than they showed in Game 1. And now we have a tie series, and we go back to St. Louis.
Physicality all the way through from St. Louis, making the Avalanche play an uncomfortable game, which resorted to dumping and chasing a lot. And the Avalanche aren't really good at that. And St. Louis did what they had to do. Jordan Binnington did what he had to do. And St. Louis walks away with a win.
This is the chess match that we talked about. And the St. Louis Blues, like we said, made their adjustments. Now it's time for the Avalanche to do that. It's not all going to be your first round series against the Nashville Predators, and it's not all going to be Game 1 against these St. Louis Blues. This is a very good team. I'm talking about the Blues, but the Avs obviously are a very good team. So this is a loss. It doesn't kick them out of the playoffs, but some people might think it does, the way that you're reading social media. But it was a loss was going to happen. And if you get a loss, your first loss is your 6th game in the playoffs. I think we'll take those odds most of the time. But series is now tied at 1 as we head back to St. Louis.
That's all for Locked On Now NHL. Thank you again for making Locked On Now your first listen every weekday. Now that you're done here, make sure your second listens are Locked On NHL and your team's local Locked On podcast. I'm Daniela Bruce, and this has been Locked On Now.